Thank you all so much for joining us today. We are live here at Home ASAP for our virtual Live at 5 and to kick off your Thirsty Thursday happy hour. And I'm super excited to be with my marketing team here. Well, this is just like half of our marketing team here at Home ASAP. But my name is Sabrina. You might have seen me 2 weeks ago when we were interviewing John Marshall, our CEO here at Home ASAP. And you also might recognize this guy over here.
Yeah, hey there guys, it's John Walker again. Nice to see you.
I'm Aaliyah Lewandowski. You haven't met me yet, but hello.
But she's awesome, so you should meet her.
Yeah.
So,
I can vouch for that.
as you know, we are going to be focusing on Instagram today. That is our topic of focus. And the reason why that's kind of what we wanted to talk about is, first of all, we know many of you use Instagram, and there's over, I think, 2 billion users on Instagram now. So it's like, you know, everybody really should try to create a account if they can. So we're here to kind of discuss Instagram and what are features that are important for real estate agents to use, and why is it so important as a real estate agent to utilize Instagram in addition to Facebook, and how can that, make your business super successful? So if you can give us a little thumbs up on this video if you are an Instagram user, because we're just curious how many of you are. So give us a little thumbs up if you're an Instagram user, and if you are not, please feel free to leave any questions you might have about Instagram right here on this video, and we'll be more than happy to answer them when we're kind of done with this little conversation at our during our Live at 5. So welcome to everybody, whether or not you're an Instagram user, and let's go ahead and get this party started and talk about Instagram.
Sounds good.
Okay, so first and foremost, why is it so important as a real estate agent to use Instagram?
I mean, as we know, like, real estate is so image-centric that it almost makes sense for it to be on Instagram, with reels, with stories, with just the posts and the carousels that you can put on Instagram. It's amazing what you can do. So I think it's really important for real estate agents to utilize that tool in order to make their home stand out and, sell faster, or even get buyers and, bring people into the market. So I definitely think it's a tool that needs to be used more.
Yeah,
absolutely. And going back to what she was saying, over 2 billion people now. That is just unbelievable to me. And as a business person, as a real estate agent, you want to be where the people are, where the customers are, and right this minute, that's where they're at. They're on Instagram, and not only just on Instagram. It's not just a lot of people. It's the people that you want to be in front of, because all the statistics show that it skews towards a younger crowd, more of the millennial age type of audience, and we all know those are the home buyers right now. Those are the people who are trying to enter the market, and so if you can get in there early and establish these relationships, you're going to have business, when they resell their house and going on into the future. It's a great building block.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that kind of segues into our next question that I wanted to ask you too, and that is, what are the basic features on Instagram that are important for real estate agents to know about and to utilize?
Yeah, I'd say my top feature would be Instagram stories. You're able to post, videos and pictures on your story, and also save them. So that works really well for, open homes and for, just sold and for sale, and you can always have that on your page, so you stay relevant and stay at the top of your Instagram. But also you can save them to your page for people to reference later. And the great thing about it is that you also get the metrics of who's seen it. So if you see somebody who's gone through quite a few of, your for sale homes, you can send them a direct message and, basically say, hey, like, I saw that you were on here. Are you interested in anything? And I think that that's one of the best features about Instagram.
For sure. I mean, I love stories too, and they've got so many fun little features that you can use to engage. I think you were telling me about what they have polls and other stuff.
You can post polls, you can post questions, you can add music to your story to make it more fun. Yeah. You can go live in your stories. There's all sorts of features, fun features that kind of can make your Instagram page more engaging for your followers.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think you also touched on something that's really important too, that makes Instagram a little different than Facebook, is that so much of the action happens in the direct messengers and the Messenger app. Because first off, people are a lot more likely statistically to open an Instagram message than they are, your typical email. Because it appears almost like a text message on your phone, and we all know, you're constantly on your phone nowadays. So, and then, it's also great because it's a private environment, so you really have a great opportunity to start building a relationship with people and really, engaging them. And going a little deeper.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned messages because one of my favorite things with the Messenger platform is if you go into your little Messenger on Instagram, there's a blue microphone like in the bottom right hand corner, and if you press it and hold it, you can leave an audio message, and it's kind of a great way to personally engage with people that are trying to ask you questions or just want to say hello, and you can reveal your personality in that capacity, and then also it's a more personal approach to connecting to your followers, which is, like John said, so vitally important for the success of your real estate business. So
actually, another before we move on to another really fun one that's been making waves now is Reels. So TikTok's been kind of in the news, the hot new thing in town, and it's so for those people who aren't familiar, it's Reels are short form video that where they're usually below a minute. Some of them I think can go up to maybe 3 minutes if I remember right. But they're different than your typical video that you might find on YouTube, because they're kind of a lot less polished. They're more authentic. And, people doing a lot of fun things, sharing information in just creative ways, and really letting that side of their personality come out, and building the brand too. I mean, is a big part of using Reels, so that's something to keep your eye on. Yeah,
for sure. Now, there are lots of trends going on Facebook, on Instagram, etc. What do you think, as a real estate agent, which are all of you tuning in today, as a real estate agent, what are some trends that have been happening lately that would be good for them to take advantage of?
I definitely feel like one of the trends that I've seen a lot of and really like are people who go live with their walkthroughs. It makes a really personal approach to a walkthrough of a home. You can kind of showcase exactly what you want to showcase, stage it how you want to stage it, and really put your personality into it and allow people to see that. And it almost feels like a personal walkthrough of a home, but you can give it to everybody. So I definitely think that that's one of the best trends that I'm seeing right now.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And kind of going back to the what you were saying earlier about how visual it is, I think one of the things that people really enjoy is carousel posts, which you don't you really have very much of on Facebook, and so for a carousel post is different than your typical post because it's multiple images. You're able to swipe through and see up to 10 images at a time, and I think the great thing about them is the ability to kind of almost tell a story, lay out a narrative, because that's the way people think, is in stories, telling stories.
Absolutely.
So you can almost give them the experience of taking them through the house, the front door, the curb appeal side of it, and then kind of going in and seeing the cool features and whatnot. So, I mean, it's a great way to engage people.
Yes, absolutely. And it's great for listings too, because you can include videos in those the slides. So so it's important to kind of combine both the use of videos and pictures too. So it's like an engagement goldmine is what I like to say. So definitely recommend using carousel posts for sure. So now that leads us into our next question, and that is, as a real estate agent, what are some things that we should not do on Instagram?
So I'll start out with not not posting professional content, personal content.
Yeah.
Here we are. This is what I mean. It's all good. Some agents will only post professional content on their page, and really you want a mix of personal and professional. They want to see you as a person and an individual, and not just as a brand and just as an agent. So I would definitely say one of the biggest don'ts is only posting professional content.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really the thing that kind of is able to differentiate you from the competition is, because anybody can go in there and, help them buy a home or help them sell a home. But, this is a person that you're going to be spending a lot of time with.
Right.
And so you want to like them as well. And so this is a great way to build that in.
Yes.
To start building that sort of rapport with them so they know what to expect.
Right.
Now, as far as, what I think a big mistake I also see agents make is that they're not posting enough content, you know, because they, there's just a flood of things coming in from other people. And so if you're not posting enough, you are going to get lost, you're going to be overlooked, and, you want to be top of mind. And so, posting regularly is going to help you stay at the top of their feeds. And let me just put in a real quick shameless plug here, because I actually help with the building of this. We just launched a product called Page Engage for Instagram. And so basically it's a tool that's kind of helping you get that baseline of posts to your users. So we've scoured the internet and found the most engaging images and have experts crafting these amazing captions that are meant to get the conversation started, and that way you have that baseline of content where you can use that to make sure that you're staying top of mind, and then also build on it with reels, with stories, and, all this other stuff that you want to be doing.
And speaking of like content on it, like I've seen so many agents using bad hashtags, like just bad hashtags. So I'd say probably one of the biggest things that I would say is don't overuse hashtags.
And I think the recommended number of hashtags to use is like 9 to 12. So don't go overboard with it, but also don't avoid using hashtags because people will look up specific hashtags to look for homes or listings or real estate agents. And so it's just important that your hashtags they go along with the content of your page and they're not totally like off the wall and random, but also that they're not like super long too, So for instance, a good hashtag could be, beautiful home, but a poor choice of a hashtag would be beautiful homes forever and ever and ever. Like no one's looking for that hashtag. So you want your content that you post on Instagram, that you invest time in posting, you want it discoverable. You want people to see it, to come across it, to follow you, to share it with their friends. That's the whole point. And so it's also important to make your Instagram page public as well. So that way people can come across your posts and see all the engaging material that you're posting and say, hey, like I could one day hire them as a real estate agent, or I have a friend who's looking for a home and she needs a real estate agent, let me share this profile with her. So speaking of profiles as well, should we talk about the profile picture and the bio, like the basics?
I would definitely say for like your picture, make sure it's high quality, bright lighting, nothing gloomy and doomy and fuzzy and all of that. You want something that looks good and professional and clean, like
eye-catching.
Eye-catching. Make sure the background is appropriate, make sure you're appropriate. It's the first thing people are really going to see on your page, and it's your first impression. So definitely make sure that that's on point.
Absolutely. And I think if anyone's been on Instagram for any length of time, they've probably seen, people in their captions saying link in bio. And, the reason why they do that is because you can't actually post links directly in your posts on Instagram, and so a lot of times people are directing them to the bio. So it's particularly important on Instagram to have your bio to the point, and also calling them to some sort of action to get them to take that next step.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and within that bio, speaking of, it's important that you can use up to 150 characters. And the Instagram bio is like the section right below where your profile is, that circle profile picture. You can use up to 150 characters, but don't use all 150 because you don't want something super wordy and lengthy. You don't want to be posting a novel. Like, you want the information you're giving about your business. You want it very streamlined. You want it attention grabbing. You want it to stand out from your competitors. And so this is, like Aaliyah said, this is your first impression to all of these people coming across your page, and you want your page to be worth the follow that they're thinking about doing, and thinking about sharing. So that's great content.
And kind of a hot tip there too for keeping your bio short is to use emojis, because that kind of shortens up it's a visual language. So it's what people are using nowadays. They understand right away. For
sure. Yes. So, well, let's see if any of you left any questions here on our little video. And if you didn't leave a question, then we would. If you didn't leave a question, it's totally fine. This video will stay up for forever. So you can feel free to leave a question at any point in time, because we will be happy to answer your question. And also, we are going to be sharing our webinar we'll be releasing it on our Facebook page. You'll be able to register for it when it's ready to go, and that's going to kind of go over a lot more in-depth information about Instagram, because there's no way we can do this all in this one live video. So there's a lot of content to discuss and that we want to share with you. So we definitely recommend that you join us on that webinar. So I do see we have a question here thank you, Justin. It says, how do you find hashtags? That's a good question.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, you're right. You want to be looking for things that people are actually searching for. And so first, you just want to put yourself in the place of your ideal client, and so you have to know who your ideal client is, what they're interested in, and then as far as actually finding the hashtags you use, your search tools, like the search bar that's in the app is your best friend there. If you type in something that you think would be relevant, I'm just gonna off the top of my head, Jacksonville Beach, right? That's something that people are going to be searching for, especially in that certain area. If you type in that general query into your search bar, and then then go over to the tags section, or it might say hashtags. If you go in there, you can see a lot of related hashtags, and not only that, how many people are following that hashtag, have used that hashtag.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's important to use hashtags that have more than 100 followers, or you want or 100 posts. So you don't necessarily want to use all hashtags that have say 2 million posts, because then your content might be hard to find, because there's so many posts that correspond with that hashtag. But it's important to also not use hashtags with 5 posts. So something right in the middle is kind of perfect. So I would say at least 1,000 posts is a good kind of target number to look for when you are thinking of using certain hashtags. So
Great question.
Yeah, that was a great question. Thank you, Justin. And thank you all so much for joining us today. I see that we have a lot of people who came together to join us for our Live at 5. So, and we are super excited to release that Instagram webinar to share with you, which will go much more in depth about all the tips and tricks and how to use Instagram and what you should do as a real estate agent to propel your business forward on Instagram. And that's why we are here to help you, and we're here to create these webinars so that you can be engaged and educated, because we want you all to succeed as much as possible. So thank you for joining us. We hope you have the best rest of your Thursday.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Yes. Cheers to anybody with a drink.
Yeah, I'm ready for happy hour myself.
I know. I think it's time for us to head on out and go to happy hour. So, all right, bye. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.